Here is the view high atop the Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I've been attending a conference here for the last day, and that's the roof of the Mall of America right there. So looking out over top of that, if you look over here, you can see, I think that is downtown St. Paul, Minnesota. And then its twin is over here. I don't think they're really twins. I think they might be fraternal twins, possibly. So that little blurb in between those two buildings is Viking Stadium, and downtown Minneapolis is on the other side of that building. So not the most exciting view in the world, but frankly, it's a little bit... Oh, that's Bloomington? What are you talking... Really? Is that really Bloomington? I thought they were the Twin Cities. I don't know. Okay. So broadcasting live today, scoping live from Minneapolis, where I've been at a Speed the Light conference, which if you are part of our network of churches and the Assemblies of God, you know exactly what that is. And so it's been really, really good. Got to hear some great stories from some different organizations that Speed the Light is helping. One of the most exciting, we're in Bloomington, yeah. One of the most exciting ones is an organization called Free International. We got to hear from them last night. They are rescuing women from the sex trafficking industry. Heard some amazing and alarming statistics last night about slavery in North America. And so Free International is just doing some awesome things to set girls free. And in fact, last night we made a decision to help partner with them financially. And so that's exciting. You'll be hearing more about that. But let's say hello to everybody. We're talking about networking today. I want to cover a variety of topics on these scopes, but I thought I would start with the ones that maybe I know best and things that I understand. And networking is one of those that's been a long time in the making for me because I was very resistant to it as a younger guy. Hey, Dusty, how you doing? I'm going to try and say hi to everybody as they come in. And let's see, Jay Like One, how are you? Pastor Dave Behringer, just saw you like 5 minutes ago. So I think he's on the shuttle. Are you on the shuttle right now on the way to the airport? I hope so, because Shane Bryant is with him, and Shane was starting to get nervous. Dusty, what's up, man? Hopefully I have a good connection today. I tested it twice earlier. Hello, Pastor, is it Jar? Pastor Jar? Good to have you guys on. So Dave and Shane are watching, and Ann are watching from the airport shuttle. And yeah, I'll just get right started. The new format that I've been experimenting with, because I know there's people who check in and you just want those bullet points so that you can move on with your day and take them away. Good to see you, Burly Beard. Dan Maynard in the house. Jeff Westheim up there in West Branch. Good to see you. Headed out on a goose hunt. Yeah, very good. Well, tell you what, again, for those of you who are busy or on your way, I'm going to give you my points at up front, and then we will unpack them, because some of them may not make sense on their own, but as we unpack them, they'll make more sense. And what I really am interested in is your feedback, because as I unpack these points, I know that you will have things to contribute. What I'm hoping to get, I'm going to upload this to YouTube later, is that we will create a catalog of information on how to be a better leader. Let me introduce myself. I'm Josh Wellborn. I'm the Student Ministries Director for the Assemblies of God in Michigan. The Assemblies of God, there's about 247 churches in our tribe, in our fellowship, in our cooperative group, and so I represent leadership for children's and youth ministry. And so today, just wanting to take an opportunity to talk to leaders about how to properly and with sincerity and honesty be a good networker. If you're wanting to watch this on YouTube later, or if you're wanting the link is on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is my name, Josh Wellborn. It's JoshWellborn. So just real briefly, I wanted to do the 7 sins of networking, but I only have 5 of them. So, excuse me. So we're doing the 5 sins of networking. That's why on your title it's just called the sins of networking. As we go, I'm hoping that you can come up with 2 more so that we can actually have 7. So they are this. 1, selling the whole time. 2, handing out the business card. 3, talking and not listening. 4, you don't follow up. And 5, the consumer. So those are the 5 sins of networking that we'll be talking about today. Let me just do a quick, for those of you taking notes at home, let me just do a quick shot of my notes here on my screen. So if you'd like to follow along at home and get some of those down, if you're writing things down, you can just look at those. Again, selling the whole time. the business card, the card dealer, I call him that. The ever talker, they talk and not listen. The forgetter, or the person who doesn't follow up. The person who does, and then the last one was the consumer. Are these biblically based? See if these are biblically based sins. I don't know if they are or not. I know that I know that as far as Scripture is concerned, throughout Scripture, we are told that we are better together. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, a person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. Galatians chapter 6 tells us this: therefore, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially those in the family of faith. Luke chapter 6 says, give away your life. You'll find it given back to you. Not merely given back, but given back with bonus and blessing. And so generosity is what we see in Scripture. So when it comes to networking, my premise, my philosophy is that it's for you to give. Ganga Ganga. I don't know what that means, but it's good to have you, Lord Kino. When relationship exists, doing favors for people is a pleasure. You want to network, and you want to have because you have something to offer. You have a genius. I said this on the last one. You have a genius that someone else needs. You also have a weakness that needs someone else's genius. That is one of the ways that we are, in fact, better together. So let's unpack these 5 deadly sins of networking. I saw the sins of networking pretty early on, just growing up around ministry, not in my own family, but just the people that my parents were interacting with. And I don't even remember names, let alone would I name names. But you always saw people that looked like they were just schmoozing. You always saw people that you just wondered if they were really sincere or if they just needed something. And I know this exists in sales. I know big time. I know it exists in ministry. I know it exists in all kinds of marketing, and certainly advertising, mainstream advertising. You just wonder about the sincerity of the products that are being shoved on you. So my response was to just back away from the whole thing, and I would have said, no, I'm not a networker. I don't like those guys, because what I saw was schmoozers and insincerity. And then as I've grown just as a leader, as a pastor, and just as an adult, you start to learn, man, some people really do want to help. So I decided that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the guy that was really helping. I really want to contribute. And if I don't have anything to contribute, that's fine. But I like it also when someone has something to contribute to me, a perspective that I hadn't thought of, a talent that I don't have, resources that I don't have access to. And so that's why I'm a firm believer in networking, because I like to see those things happen. But what we don't want to do is enter the realm of insincerity. So let's talk about the first one, the person who is selling the whole time. And the stereotypical used car salesman kind of comes to mind with the cheesy jacket and the obnoxious TV commercials telling everybody that they're crazy because they've got crazy deals. They're giving them away, And so there's a realm of insincerity. And anybody who, if you have your finances in order, anybody who's ever done any personal budgeting, that a lot of times people will buy things that they can't afford. And it seems like the person who is the ever seller, the sort of used car salesman dynamic, they're selling the whole time. They don't really take concern for that person's financial situation when they're selling to them the whole time. They're not trying to make them better. They're just trying to make the sale. A lot of people make a lot of money and build a big career out of that type of thinking. But I'm just saying I consider it one of the sins of networking. I think it's one of the things that ruins networking. I think it's one of the reasons some people step back from an organization, or maybe they've even stepped back from you relationally because they feel like you're just selling. And hopefully that's not you. But I know I've stepped back from people because I feel like they're just selling. So selling the whole time, it's one of the sins. Stay away from it. Number 2, the business card dealer. Now, what is the card dealer? I won't get them out, but okay. We've got somebody just turned on their Periscope in the room with me. So I got the delay of my own voice. That was awesome. You can be an insincere listener too. That's a great point, Tom. Yeah, being an insincere listener is almost as bad as being an insincere talker. I'm curious. Unpack that one a little bit for me, Tom. So what advice would you have for somebody who's how do we become sincere You can respond to that, but let me talk about the business card thing. Lazy, active listening is what Tom says. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So when they're acting distracted, they're looking away. They're not making eye contact. Get off your phone when you're having a conversation. These are good, you guys. These are so good. Yeah. Am I skipping to 3? No, I wanted to talk about the business card dealer for a second. Number 2 is the business card person. I don't think you should give a card unless you're asked for one. I don't think you should give a card unless somebody wants to stop looking for the next connection while you're in an existing connection. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, kind of rubbernecking around the room as you're talking to people, trying to see who you're going to talk to next. Hang on a second, I got to go talk to this person. I love you, I'll see you later. And then they never come back to you. Yeah, I think that's good. That's being an insincere listener. That could be one of our, that puts us at 6 deadly sins of networking. These are good. No, so the business card, I think it's a tool that you can use. I carry 2 in my wallet for when people ask me for my information or my phone number. But frankly, the one that's in my wallet now, I don't even think I have one for my new job. I think I still have one from my old job because that's how often I hand out business cards. What's more effective, in the circles I run in, is to connect on social media, and so that's a little bit easier. But the guy, you've seen him before. He hands you the card. He wants to stay connected even before you even communicate any desire to stay connected. So you don't want to be that person. You want to wait. So number 1 is selling the whole time. Number 2 is the card dealer, the business card dealer. Number 3 is again, this is one of the sins of networking. You do all the talking and you don't listen. The ever talker. You have to be strategic. Brian's got something to say about business cards. Sometimes business cards can really make you seem unapproachable. Yeah, that's a great point. Because if you come across like you've got it all together, that can be intimidating. So let's talk about the ever talker. You have to learn to ask good questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, Tom Rouge has a great idea. Hand out temporary tattoos with your information on them. Do you really do that? I would love to see that. I want one of those temporary tattoos. You've got to learn to be a good question asker. I don't know if Drew Butterfield's on here or not, but I met with him recently, and I had this plan. I was going into the meeting, and I didn't want to be the ever talker, so I was going to ask Drew all these great questions, and so I had these questions in mind. But Drew kept asking me questions, so he was doing a great job. He didn't even know he was doing it. He was just genuinely interested and genuinely kind. And frankly, that really is the key to good networking: is genuinely being interested in other people, genuinely desiring to be connected to them, genuinely desiring to give what you have to offer, and just knowing that when you need something within your network, it's going to be provided. And so that's really cool. But don't be the ever talker. You've got to learn to ask good questions. Think about them in advance. Have some that you just automatically ask. Have some of them that you just automatically ask. One of the things that I'm always asking people, particularly in the realm of public speaking, I'll ask them how they prepare for their public speaking. I'll ask them, in fact, just yesterday I asked someone, said, when you've got a 5-minute window, what goes through your head on what to say during that 5-minute window? The answer was, he referred back to, he's got a short cheat list of the most important things to him in his organization. He just goes to one of those, whichever one is most applicable for the setting, goes right to it. So he had a simple kind of a cheat sheet for what to do when you're given just a brief window in a public forum. I thought that was great advice. And that's just one of those questions that I've asked that of lots and lots of people. For those who are in ministry or looking at this from a faith angle, one of the questions I love to ask guys that I admire and respect is, what do you do for your personal prayer time? What do you do for your quiet time? How do you pray? Where do you go? Do you walk? Do you write? Do you read? Do you listen to music? Things like that. Because I just love to hear from my spiritual heroes what they're doing to cultivate their own spiritual health. So that's one of those questions I just keep tucked away. So don't just talk, listen, ask good questions. Let other people do the talking. Number 4 is this, the person who forgets. We call them the forgetter. They don't follow up. Good networkers follow up. I just had a lunch with some of you guys know this guy, Don Champion, out at River Valley Church in Minnesota. And he not only was so awesome to buy lunch, but then about half an hour later, he sent me a text just simply saying, hey, it was good to see you today. Let's stay connected. Great follow-up move. For those of you who have meetings with people, you keep appointments with people, or you connect with somebody that you just, man, you want to be better connected to them, follow up with them. You might even get to the place where you get their business card or you give theirs, but then it gets tucked in the laptop bag. It gets stuck in the laundry. You don't follow up with them. Don't not follow up with people. Again, connect with them on social media. Connect with them via text. Connect with them email. However it is that you want to connect, whatever your preferred method is. But you got to follow up with people, even if it's a simple, hey, thank you for lunch. Thank you for meeting with me. New Facebook friends. Yeah, that's right. It's a really good one. Where are we? I've got one more. Also the person that doesn't follow up, they're the forgetter or the disappearer. And by the way, when you follow up with somebody, those of you that you're in sales or you're in some kind of fundraising, the follow-up should not be, hey, here's how you can give to me. Here's how you can give to my organization. A lot of my follow-up correspondence that I get is people sending me a link so that I can give electronically to whatever their organization is. Now, a lot of people, man, I want that. I'm not the guy that doesn't want to invest financially in other people's ministries. I'm not the guy that doesn't want to invest. I do. I believe there's a blessing that comes from that. I believe, in fact, especially if you're, for instance, last night with Free International, they had a strategic plan for rescuing women from sex trafficking in North America. I want to be a part of that. I want to be connected to that spiritually. From a social justice angle, I think it makes our country a better place if we're doing things to eradicate that problem. So I want to be connected to that. But it shouldn't. The hard sell should not be your follow-up from an initial meeting. So the last one I have is the consumer. I don't know if Jason Persinger is on here or not, but he's the one that gave me this idea. The consumer. They're the person who they're the person who is always asking for something. As soon as you make a relational connection, it's, can I borrow this? Can I come speak at your event? Will you support me financially? Will you give to this? Will you join this? As soon as they're the consumer. They're the one who is always asking for something. That's why it's so important in networking that you understand that early principle that I mentioned at the last Periscope, but also today. When relationship exists, doing a favor is a pleasure. You have a genius that someone else needs. You also have a weakness that needs someone else's genius. So those are my thoughts on that. I think we came up with maybe one extra one, the insincere listener. So I'm going to write that one down, Tom. That was really good. Anybody got any more sins of networking? I'm going to type that one into my notes here. I'll post this on Facebook. If you're not a part already, you can message me on Facebook. It's Josh Wellborn, WELLBORN. And if you are a youth leader or a children's pastor in the state of Michigan, please message me, and I would love to add you. If you're not already on it, I would love to add you to our network pages on Facebook. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. I really do believe that we are better together. I'm really excited for Youth Convention in the fall. Those of you that are part of the Assemblies of God, it's going to be in Lansing on November 6th and 7th. Scotty Givens is going to be preaching at that, and I just saw him this morning, just had breakfast, went to a breakfast that he was at. Started to say I had breakfast with him, but that's not really true. There were about 100 people there, and he was one of the people there. So looking forward to seeing you in Lansing at Youth Convention, and that's all for me. Thanks for joining. Hey, message me. Would love to have ideas on topics that you want to hear about. Would love to hear your feedback on topics that you're really good at and that you might want to talk about as well. So that's all for me. Let's give a little shout out here. Brian Chapman's on there. Man, you take care. Thanks for joining me today. I think that's it for me. All right, Paul King just joined, but we are just now wrapping it up, Paul. You snooze, you lose. Just kidding. Follow me, and you can join me for one of these next time.